Hey, it's Russ and Lauren from here on the Infectious Groove Music Channel, and today's topic is one that I think came about because of our playlist in the car. We end up a lot of times, this happens a lot for you and happens a lot for me, where a song will come on and, like, for example, and I'll say, like, oh, I don't think I've ever heard this before. And you'll be like, yeah, this was kind of a hit, but not really.
Yep.
Yeah. And I know I say that to you a lot, so many artists. So these are artists who, most people, I think, would refer to most of these people as one-hit wonders, which, by the way, I think is ridiculous. I say this every time the topic comes up, but it's ridiculous that that's that's one more hit than anybody who's ever insulted a one-hit wonder has. But a lot of these artists who are known as one-hit wonders have so many other great songs, and I really like this list because there's so many on here that are definitely. I feel like these aren't a question. Like, people definitely
pretty much
think of these as one-hit wonders.
Yeah, they think of them that way. I mean, and all of this to say, like, I'm kind of. They had other minor chart. Right.
Things
that made the charts, but like, what do you call it?
The definition of one-hit wonder is murky.
It's nebulous. Yeah, I'm just saying, don't come at me.
Yeah.
That's all. So the first one on my list is actually your fault, and it's a song by Gautier, who we all know from somebody that I used to know.
If you know the song, if you know the name Gautier, it's because you know the song Somebody That I Used to Know. Unless you're me and four other people.
But you played a lot from that album for me, and I really like the song I Feel Better. Like, it's super upbeat. It's so much fun.
It's got a Motown feel to it.
Yeah.
And there's I don't want to say this record is it's not avant-garde or anything like that, but the record with Somebody That I Used to Know, Making Mirrors, it's not a thing where the rest of the record doesn't sound like that song, but the rest of the record is far more diverse than you think it's going to be. And if this is a good one to start with, because if you listen to this, you're going to be like, well, I didn't know the guy that did that song could do songs like this too. So yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. Now, when we said at the beginning that the definition of one-hit wonder is, it can be debatable. This next one, when you sent me the list, I thought it said the Bangles, and out loud I said, they're not a one-hit. And then I said,
yeah.
But then I said, oh yeah, this band definitely is.
Sure is. Yeah, the Buggles. And they've got a song called The Plastic Age, or sometimes it's called Living in the Plastic Age, but regardless. It makes me wish that there was more Buggles to listen to, especially, a song like this, because it tracks with kind of what they were doing with Video Killed the Radio Star, but this is very much like, everything is plastic now, what is real?
Right.
And it's such a cool, like, late 70s, early 80s, like, you could tell kind of where pop music was going with a track like this, and it's a lot of fun that I'd recommend just checking out.
Yeah, and like with the Gautier thing, sometimes I like when you go, oh, this sounds totally different than what you're expecting. But then I also like when you're like, okay, if you like that, then here's this other stuff. Now, this one, this band is not only a one-hit wonder, but also has one of my favorite jokes in cinema history, which is, do you like Flock of Seagulls? I can see you do in Wedding Singer. Cracks me up. But everybody on Earth knows them for Iran.
Yes.
And you've got another song that you're throwing out there for people.
Yeah, it's a track called Space Age Love Song. And I'll tell you this. If you go and listen to it, it's gonna sound familiar, because I can't tell you specifically, but I know I've heard it in a movie somewhere, like from the 80s, right? And this is they don't even say space age love song in it. This is just, it's a straight up love song that it's like, okay, what would love be like in the future?
Right.
And there's some really great lyrics in there, just kind of about like locking eyes with somebody and like their eyes making you smile. And I was like, okay, this is very sweet. Thank you, Flock of Seagulls.
Nice. Now this next band is one that, and I do this a lot with certain acts where I'm like, oh my God, their hit is not even close to their best song. And this band, I don't think you dislike their biggest hit, but I know that you would very much like for people to know that they have a lot more songs than that.
Yes, that's true. Spandau Ballet, we know them for True. And I'll tell you this, I'm very glad that the song True is the last song on the album True, because you could just stop.
Yeah, you like everything before it.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm talking specific. I had a hard time. It was just like, I don't know. I just kind of like point to any other track on that album, but I decided to go with Communication.
It's funny that you said that, because I was like, I'm surprised that those all five wasn't this band.
It could have been. It could have been. Yeah, like, Spandau Ballet is so much fun. But yeah, the song Communication, it starts with like this really weird, like, keyboard thing happening that sounds like heavy and aggressive, and then the song just takes a complete shift, and it's just very poppy. And I can't.
Where would you say this falls in the where we were talking about how the Buggles, this sounds like more of the Buggles and Gautier sounds totally different. Is this what people are expecting? If you've heard True?
If you've heard True, then this is not what you're expecting.
Okay, that's
Everything
good,
else on the album, it doesn't sound anything like True.
Gotcha. The last one that you're going to say is share is one that you have a song that you're going to say, and I'm going to throw one out by the same band as well. This is, I think these cats are so much more talented than people than a lot of people know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hanson. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and say this. They have a super intense following. Like the people that love Hanson love Hanson.
Yeah. I learned that literally like 10 years ago. They came to Detroit. And I was like, oh, Hanson's coming. I'm going to get, and like somebody I know was like, you're not getting tickets. And I was like, what? But it's Hanson now. And they were like, no, you're, and then I got a lesson in that. I was like, holy crap.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
But to the general public, this is what we were talking about with the definition. This is a one-hit wonder band to the general public.
Right. Yeah. But man, they have the following they have for good reason because they are super talented. And again, I could have picked a bunch of other songs, but I just decided to go with the track from their 2000 album. It's called Save Me, the song. And I don't know. I think I mostly love this for Taylor Hanson's vocal in it because he's a little older than he was from Mbop, you know, and so he gets this little grit going when he's singing this track, and I love it.
I'm just going to tack one on to it. And this was the song for me that, like, a couple of years after Mbop was a thing, somebody was like, oh, you should hear this. And I heard it, and I was like, oh, there's so much more to that band. So at least for me, it was a thing. And maybe that could be that way for you is why I'm throwing this on there. But Penny and Me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, great song. And that was one that I wasn't like when someone said, oh, you should listen to this. I wasn't like, by Hanson. You know? Yeah, I was just like, oh, okay. And when I checked it out, I was like, wow, there's a lot more to this band than I thought there was.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, they're really good at what they do. They really are.
So if you are a fan of this channel and you watch us regularly, then you probably have a lot of the same thoughts we do, where you think that, you know, one hit wonder is a kind of a derogative phrase, and it shouldn't be derogatory phrase rather. And I'm sure that you have a bunch of artists that you love that people only know for one song, and you have others that you can share with us. So drop a comment, let us know what you think of our picks, and please, by all means, share some of yours from bands that are viewed as one-hit wonders but have other great songs. I know if you're watching this video, you have a ton of those that you can share with us. Please drop a like on the video as well. Hit the notification bell because we're up to 4 videos a week now, and we would love for you to know when they come out. And as we always say, thank you so much for watching.